Hey, what is going on, guys? Happy Friday to you. Yeah, so I wanted to hop on here and do a video. I had been, I don't know, reflecting a lot today on, the recent events, the bigger picture of kind of all the different things kind of going on today as we like, one of them being things that we like to term the beer cold. Um, and what's kind of going on with these recent events, all the protesting that is going on as well. And I don't know, it's just been really, really reflecting on, what can I do? What can I say? And I know I mentioned on one of my earlier videos, what about 4 days ago, I mentioned that I had did a video on Instagram TV, and someone had asked me, like, what was your channel name? And I didn't even know the channel name. It's been so long since I've used Instagram TV. So I thought, you know what, let me do a video here on this channel um, and just kind of share some stuff with some people, right? So yeah, just reflecting a lot. And I was, so by the way, the reason why I hadn't done any digital asset videos on the digital asset spaces, I'd been telling you guys I had lost my phone and, this type of thing like that, right? So anyway, got the phone and just been playing with it and messing around with it. And um, I was about to go live on the channel because we got a celebration Zoom to do and a little bit of business training Zoom to do later this evening. And just came across a video that caught my attention, right? It was Reflecting on the Color of My Skin by Marquez Brownlee. And the reason why, well, two things. Number one, the title, but number two, I had just been watching videos by this young man on, phones, the S10, S10 Plus, S20, right? Different phones, earbuds. I've been watching a bunch of videos for this young man. Came across his channel, was impressed, right? His viewers and this type of thing like that, or subs rather, right? Over 11 million subs, right? So I'm just listening to his different videos and different things, and then, obviously how that goes, right? With YouTube and Google. So this comes up on my feed, and I watched this, watched the video of this young man, and was very, very intrigued and impressed with this video. Obviously, talking about the different events going on with George Floyd and, that different, that kind of stuff as well, right? And so, I got to know a little bit about him. 25 years old. Wow, impressive. Been doing his thing on YouTube since he was 15 years old. Another thing, quite impressive, right? It's one thing to get started, it's another thing to finish what you're doing, right? And so, 10 years later, but he got the title of his video from a physicist who had wrote an article just recently with the same title. His name is Neil deGrasse, right? A physicist at a very prominent university. I believe it to be Princeton University. So watch that video from him, right? Marquez Brownlee. And then lo and behold, another video comes up in the feed by Casey Neistat. And I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. I had come across him years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago. Someone was sharing his channel with me on Facebook, rather, his Facebook with me, and how it was laid out, because we were doing a lot of marketing things and, learning a different thing. He said, look at his thing, look how, whatever. And he saw it, and I said, wow, million followers, blah, 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 great. But he did a video, and it was titled, this is my watch history here. It's What Black Lives Matter protests are really about. And I thought it was interesting that he was doing a video on it. And in the beginning of this video, he talks about since the incident with George Floyd, since that incident, he has been out protesting every single day. Every single day. And I thought to myself, wow, every single day. So about a week ago, and I shared this on the Instagram TV with you guys as well, that a friend of mine, about a week ago, she had reached out to me, and she calls me up after this, a day or so after the George Floyd thing. maybe it was actually probably 2 days after the George Floyd thing. I hadn't even heard about it uh, until that morning. She called me in the afternoon. I literally did not. Well, we don't watch news. We don't watch any of that stuff, right? So she's asking me, what can I, what can I do? And all right. So she's not African American. So what can I do? Um, you know, to make a difference. She told me, she had been 2 days sick to her stomach, unable to do anything, like talking about live her life, anything for 2 days, unable to do anything for 2 days. And I was like, wow. And she's asking me like, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And I said, I'll say this to you, like I say, you've heard me say this, right? With business partners, you've heard me say this in trainings and different things. Like what you do matters, right? What you do matters. So just please understand that what you do matters. And I said, probably the best thing that you can do is share your voice, right? Hop on a Facebook Live, do a recorded video, something like that. Share your voice because it matters. It matters, right? So here it is a few days later. And I mean, and right that same day, that's when I did the Instagram TV thing because it was longer. I didn't know. I was battling with where should I share my voice? Literally, it was just kind of, I don't know, it was a weird inner struggle. Where should I share it? Do I go on my Facebook page? Where do I share? Do I go live? Do I upload a video? All these different things. Do I share it on this channel? Right, that type of thing, right? Well, I mean, we have a business page. It's not that many followers. It's only like 13 or 14,000 followers. There's not a big. So I'm trying to figure like where. And I remember thinking I should do something on the channel, and I did a little thing, but it wasn't really that big because I just kind of mentioned what I did on Instagram TV. So I'm recording this, right? And obviously I'm going to upload it. And I was just trying to figure some stuff out. What do I say? Do I share my personal story? How do I reflect? And so I ended up reading about 75% of the article that Neil deGrasse Tyson did, about 75% of it. And I said, God, 3 different perspectives. And I'm reading some of the things that he talked about. And one of them was basically they were at an event, they were at a conference, him and a bunch of other physicists, okay, right? PhD physicists, right? Smart guys, right? And at a conference, and after the conference, they were just, hanging out, having drinks, I guess, and having dinner. And somewhere along the lines, the conversation came up. One person, I don't know if it was him first or not, shared a story. Again, this is recent, right? Given recent events. Yeah, so given recent events, shared a story how he had got pulled over. So one of the physicists, it was either Neil or one of the physicists, shares a story about how he got pulled over. And then the next thing you know, this group, I don't know how many it was, 6, 8, 10 of these, I'm not sure how many it were. They all begin sharing their own personal stories of, being pulled over by police officers and just sharing those stories. And I'm reading these stories, and I'm like, wow. It's like, wow, really? Did that really, all these different demographics, right? Different, and they're all sharing their stories, 6, 8, 10 different stories, different events for them, for their experiences, right? Their personal experiences. And it was very odd for me because one of my personal stories is I've never had one of those stories, right? I've never had one of those police pullover stories, right? And it's a very odd thing, I guess, right? But I'd never had one of those, and what I was struggling with was, should I share that story or not, right? Should I share a story where I can't personally say that I can relate. I can understand, but I can't personally say I can relate because I never had that story, right? And 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 after listening to Casey, and after listening to the Marquez, and after reading from Neil deGrasse, Neil deGrasse, reading that article I it made me realize that it wasn't about my story; it was about the story. It wasn't about my experience; that it was about the experience, right? My story, the story, my experience, the experience. It was a bigger thing than what happened with me. And um, I remember I was sharing with my girlfriend. I said it with a couple of times and share with other people as well that I've never had that experience, right? So although my background of a very good friend, we both grew up in the inner city in Brooklyn. I wouldn't say our background. So my experience so completely different from his experience, but our backgrounds are the same, right? Inner city projects, Brooklyn, New York. We literally went to the same junior high school, didn't know each other. I was a year or two ahead of him, didn't know each other, but we ended up going in the same school, right? Um, Junior high school, middle school, right? And his experiences and my experiences were completely different when it came to police officers and being pulled over and that type of thing. And even in our own neighborhood, because we lived for quite some time, we actually lived in the same housing development in Virginia. Worked together, right? That's how we come to know each other, because we were working together, right? And both air traffic controllers. And he had an experience in the neighborhood, right, at a gas station and convenience store. And his experience with the owners there was completely different than my experience. Completely different, right? His was not friendly, not pleasant. Yet mine was. It was very odd, and the same thing with police. And so, as an African American male, it was always like I was always trying to not really figure it out, but wonder why, or that type of thing. And I realized today that it didn't matter why. It didn't matter why my experience was different than his experience. It didn't matter why I had never had any negative experience with a police officer, and he had, and they had, and people had. What mattered, though, is that it is happening. That those experiences, right? So it's not about my experience or my story. It's about the experience or the story. That's most important. And so, for a few days now, I've been thinking about from my space on this channel, from the digital asset space and this channel. I was wondering who was going to say something about the, George Floyd incident, and who was going to use their voice to share the injustices. Like, who was going to speak out, who was going to say something. I was curious, like, who was, if anybody, if they were going to do it. And as far as I know, I don't know if anyone has. I don't know if anyone has. So I don't know if someone's tweeted about it. Right. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if that's enough, to be honest. I think sharing your voice has a lot of power to it, especially in today's world. But I wondered, if any of the prominent quote unquote YouTubers in our space, digital assets, right? Not the whole YouTube world. So when I kept thinking about those things, who was going to share anything? And I got to say, well, was your Instagram TV thing enough? Was that really enough, right? 10 minutes. Was that really enough? I said, you know what, I should do it on my channel since I'm wondering about if other people in my space on YouTube want to share, then you should share, right? You should share your concerns about what's going on. And I think it's important when I see Casey Neistat on YouTube. He has 12.1 million subscribers. And here's this young man, Marquez Brownlee. He has 11.2 million subscribers on YouTube. And I think to myself, well, just 3,000 subs, right? And then I had to quickly catch myself and say, that doesn't matter. Your voice matters. What you do matters. What you do matters, right? And so I wonder sometimes if nothing's been said on YouTube by people in the digital asset space, if nothing's been said, right? If they haven't used their channel as a platform, right? I wonder why. And so I can't wonder why unless I'm willing to do it as well, right? So it's not enough to use another platform like Instagram, television. I should do it here. And so I would encourage you guys to all go listen to both of those videos. Casey Neistat is what Black Lives Matters protests are really about. What Black Lives Matter protests are really about. You can just YouTube search Casey Neistat and listen to his. And then the other one, very, very interesting one, Reflecting on the Color of My Skin by Marquez Brownlee. And that's Marquez Brownlee. You probably can see it there since I'm sharing my screen. I think I'm sharing my screen. So definitely take a look at that. And then in the link in the description for Reflecting on the Color of My Skin is a link to the blog article by Neil deGrasse, where he got the original title from. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Interesting one. Interesting read as well. Definitely want to do that. And so both people, all three things inspired me to do the video. Casey really did. The first thing he says, I hadn't been able to do a video in a while. Ever since the incident with Floyd, I've been out protesting every single day. And one of the things he said was important was, how are you going to be remembered? How will you be remembered for what did you do during this time? How will you be remembered, right? We talk about in our space, right? Dan Pena, and he talks about that, right? So it got me thinking that I should do something. I should certainly say something. And I would hope that for the other fellow YouTubers out there in this space, in the digital asset space, right? None of them have channels as big as Casey Neistat, right? Yet he felt it was important to use this platform, regardless of the 4.5 thousand down arrows that he got on the video. Down arrows, down likes, right? The dislikes, 4.5 thousand. All right. And Marquez Brownlee, 7,000 dislikes on his video. Yet they still use the platform to look to make a difference, right? For social justice, to make it a difference for social change. And I think that is what's most important. Here are two people who have more dislikes and thumbs down on their videos than I have subscribers on my channel, right? So I would just hope that people in our space, in the digital asset space, in the space that I love, that they would use their platform to speak up about the social, right, about the injustice that's going on. Right. Again, for me personally, it's not about my experience. It is about the experience. And it's important for me to remember that, right, as well. So I hope, guys, that, again, I don't know who I'm speaking to. I don't know if I'm speaking to other YouTubers in this space. I don't know if I'm just speaking to the community in this space. But if you don't have a channel, Facebook Live works, right? Facebook Live, most people are on Facebook. Facebook Live works. You just click a button and you can share and speak up about, you know, the injustice, right? So the lack of justice. Speak out about what's systemic in our society, which is racism. Speak out about that and understand that what you do matters. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. But what you do does really, really, it matters. It will make a difference. So very encouraging when I see the peaceful protesters, right? Not the what's the word I want to use? The people taking advantage of a situation to do madness. Not those people. The peaceful protesters, encouraged to see people from all different backgrounds, race, religions, right, age groups, very, very encouraged to see that. And I don't want to, right, I don't want to look at my daughter and when she asked me, like, what are you doing? Or what did you do? Right, grandkids, grandchildren, right? And say I didn't do anything, right? So I don't want that. I don't want to be that dude, right? And so two things, community, right? You may not have a YouTube channel, but Facebook Live, right? You can record a video and upload it on your page. You can just go live on Facebook, right? Any of those type of things. But just understand that what you do matters. You, my friend, could make a difference with your voice. You can make a difference with your voice and speak up about the madness that is going on. And collectively, we can do amazing things together, collectively, right? Each of us need all of us, and all of us need each of us. So what you do matters. And to my fellow content creators out there, especially the YouTubers in the digital asset space, I would encourage you to think about why you haven't done a video yet, why you haven't done something, right? Your part to speak up about the injustices, right? To speak up about the madness that can happen. And that has been happening for a long, long time to this community, right? And speak up about it, right? The George Floyd thing is not some rare thing that happens every 100 years, right? So, use your voice, use your platform. It does matter. And yeah, thanks a lot for letting me ramble on, let me share. But I did want to get on here and just say that it's important. Use your voice to make a difference. If a friend, mid 60s, I believe, is willing, scared to death to get on Facebook Live and just to say something, speak up, because she, was sick to her stomach. We're used to, doing something on front of the camera. We're used to, right, going live, right? We can use our voice and our platforms and speak up about what's going on out there. All right, guys, listen, I am going to wrap up this video, not like I normally do, but I am going to wrap it up and say thanks a lot for letting me share. And I'll see you guys soon. See ya. Bye.